Thank you. So in terms of results, we reported an underlying profit of 836 million for the year. We had a few significant items which we talked about, 927 million, which were as a result of the bulk and intermodal impairments, which again, if you have any specific questions, I can talk to, which resulted in an underlying loss, a statutory loss, of 188 million. However, cash was up 86% year on year. Challenging result in particular because of the Cyclone Debbie, 89 million impact on the year, of which 69 million is in relation to the network business below rail, which is recoverable over the future years. So in terms of Andrew's priorities, as you can see on the slide, he talked about 6 key priorities, which I can sort of touch on individually. Firstly, in relation to the freight review, which we have talked about previously, we went through over the last 12 months doing a detailed review of the freight business. In particular, a decision was made in the year to exit the intermodal business, the intermodal, which includes the Queensland intermodal business, Acacia Ridge Terminal, and also the Interstate business. So part of the review, we highlighted that we would look to exit through a sale of the Queensland business and also the Acacia Ridge Terminal and the closure of the Interstate business. Reported for the first time losses of 56 million in that part of the business. So it's quite significant. Previously, when we operated under the functional structure, we had the operations and commercial and marketing, and again, visibility of losses was not reported. At the same time, we also talked about the bulk business, which is also part of the freight review. So with the bulk, we've made a decision to stay in the bulk business. Again, number of reasons. Structurally, very similar to the coal business. So we deliver commodities in the bulk business, a number of commodities across Eastern, Western Australia, and that includes fertiliser, livestock, grain, bauxite, fuel, etc. We believe that is still a business where we have core capability. So as a result, we've decided we will stay in the business. However, there is a turnaround program in play. It'll take us a few years. Key driver being that there are a couple of contracts that are still loss-making and legacy contracts that we need to see through. So with the bulk business, we have roughly 20 contracts. A number that are very profitable, just like our coal business, but a number that are unprofitable. So within the freight review, we think that our core capability is bulk haulage, very similar to coal. Intermodal was very different. Intermodal involves 600 plus customers, involves terminals, and also involves trucking, and we don't believe our core skill set is trucking. So hence a decision has been made to exit intermodal but remain in the bulk business. The next priority that Andrew talked about was capital management. And when we presented our results at the half year, he talked about his priorities for capital. After sustaining capital, paying dividends, he highlighted that we would look to pay back cash to shareholders, in particular where we didn't see a need for the cash for growth projects, which was evidenced by the 300 million buyback that we announced at the full year results. So again, without at this stage, there is a level of certainty in sort of, I guess, moving forward with regard to the UT5 decision. However, the same applies, and a big believer of actions speak louder than words. So the decision was obviously made this time. A continuous program we will look to, but again, that depends on obviously the outcome from the UT5 review. In terms of structure, he highlighted again at the half year, we were going to move from the functional model to the business unit structure. The functional model served its purpose at a point where certainly from a corporate support perspective, a lot of the business units, as was previously, had support costs. By centralising, what it did allow us to do is to take out a chunk of corporate costs. Now we're at a point where, as a result of the functional model, visibility of profitability per business unit was such that the head of operations were focused on obviously 80-20 coal, which resulted in the losses in the intermodal and bulk business not being so visible, and the focus and accountability not being to not being where we wanted it to be. So as a result, a decision was made from 1st of July to move to business unit structure. So from this financial year, we will start to report the business units: network, coal, bulk, and intermodal. And intermodal will be treated as discontinuing for this year. And what that will highlight is the strength of our coal and network businesses. Certainly with the bulk losses, when we reported above rail and below rail, the bulk losses were a drag on the coal performance. Also, as a result of the new structure, all roles in the leadership team have now been filled, and two of the roles, head of coal, have on regional. So head of coal, Ed, is moving to Mackay, and head of bulk, Clay McDonald, is moving to Perth, which again is supporting not only regionalisation, but also near our customers and near where our products are moved. In terms of transformation, again, that was something that you're all familiar with. We talked about 380 million for the 3 years up to the end of FY18. We delivered 129 million of transformation savings in the year, and we are on target to deliver 120 million in FY18. The closure of the Interstate business. So when we exited Intermodal, Queensland business is to be sold to Pacific National, the Acacia Ridge Terminal, consortium, Pacific National and Limpox, Acacia Ridge to Pacific National, but the Interstate business is going to be closed down. And of the losses that we talked about, a significant amount of the losses were in the Interstate business. So the closure of the Interstate business will result in eliminating those losses on a go-forward basis. As a result, we talked about that contributing to the transformation change and the transformation target. There are other initiatives that Andrew talked about that will continue beyond FY18. FY18 was a target we put out there. However, we are moving towards a more continuous improvement culture. So a number of initiatives which will continue, but we haven't actually put a target as such out there. The other key priority is UT5. UT5 timing is difficult to predict. We obviously have continued to engage with the regulator and also industry. However, no timetable has been issued by the regulator. So as a result, we're looking to extend transitional tariffs, which actually at the moment are set to the end of December, to the end of the financial year, which will give a level of certainty for FY18, which is again why we've been able to talk about the buyback, with the aim that UT5 will not reach a final decision and probably until the following financial year. Either way, the regulator will look to true up any difference in the following years. They're probably the key priorities. And in terms of strategy, all the work that we have been doing to date, whether that's the exit of Intermodal, the reforming of the bulk business, all are steps towards the strategy. And certainly Andrew has been keen to point out that we're not expecting a strategy day where we will talk about some fundamental change. At the moment, our focus is on the core business, improving the core business, still plenty of work to do in that space. So whilst we will come back and talk about strategy, it will be more not, I guess, similar to what we've done in the past in terms of venturing and diversifying. It is really about concentrating on our core at the moment.